applaud you for being a part of Blocks. We want to thank you for all of the work that you've completed up until this point, whether last year was your first year or 6 years ago was your first year. We appreciate you. We appreciate the fact that you're on this journey with us, and that hopefully you will continue on this journey, because the best is yet to come. We do have some focus areas. One of our focus areas, of course, is program quality. We want to improve the quality in all OST programs, not just Blocks, but all OST programs. We also, data collection and analysis is a big key and piece to what we do. So we will talk about data in just a little bit, how we collect it, how important it is, and how you are important in that process for collecting data. Access and participation. We want to promote what you do. We want to promote you. We want to promote the fact that parents need to know that you exist. We want to do all that we can to improve how folks see you in the community, how parents can get access to you. We've added you to our 211. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. We try our best to make sure that the world knows how great you are, the same way that we know how great you are. And lastly, outreach and advocacy. We engage in the community outreach. We advocate for you all. We really do our best to support you. And we're going to talk about some additional supports that we are building in this year. So stay tuned. We are excited about you. We're excited about Blocks. We're excited about what's yet to come. All right. So our wonderful TJ Delahanty is going to come on, and he is going to do an icebreaker for you. Good morning, TJ. Take it away.
Good morning, Felicia, and good morning, BLOCStars. We are going to have an icebreaker, and we thought, since it's been a couple of months since we've got together, what we would really do is something simple. And Felicia, if you could go ahead and move to the next slide. What we're going to do for our icebreaker is break you all into breakout rooms of 4 or 5 people. And what we would like you to do in the breakout rooms is just give you an opportunity for the next 8 minutes to introduce yourselves to each other and share a story, and really just build community among ourselves. No rules. 8 minutes. Please give everybody a chance to talk, introduce themselves, share a story. You will see at the 7th minute the little pop-up that says you got 60 seconds. Please just stay in your room and use all of those last 60 seconds to talk and to build community amongst yourselves. It'll automatically bring you back. So without further ado, let's break out.
Hey, Felicia. So when we logged in today, there is registration required, so we don't have to do that Google form to get participants. You on mute. You on mute.
I added it. The registration was required, but I wasn't sure how it was going to work. So I wanted to make sure that yeah.
Yeah, it worked. It worked. So that's good.
Okay, cool.
I was trying to play music this morning, but.
All right. I see some folks who aren't in rooms. Jacqueline and Macy's.
They haven't joined yet, so I don't know if they're in by their computer or not.
Oh, okay. Okay. I can't, my computer doesn't work very often. Hey, Edwin and Valerie, are you guys brand new coming up? Good morning. All right, we are going to send you to some breakout rooms, and it's a team breaker. It's an ice builder or icebreaker / team builder. We want to make sure that everyone gets to say hello.
Jacqueline, let's see.
All right.
All right, I think everybody's in. So
okay. My computer, my camera on my work computer has not been working whatsoever. And so this morning it magically started working, and my home computer, so I can't tell. It does not show me, you know how I'm supposed to have a strip that shows people so I can kind of tell what's on the screen. It's not doing that this morning. So
gotcha.
I am trying to work.
And Kyle is one of the presenters, right? Because I made him a co-host.
Yes, Kyle is. Okay. Yes, from JCPS. Yeah. Hey, Kyle. Good morning. All right. I see Katie is joining now. 33. Yeah, I'm about to be on here twice because I've got to I tried to check at like 8. Somebody signed in like 8:40, and I was like, Tasha's on the ball. I was trying to change it.
Yeah, I think I did because I was trying to test some music. So
okay, cool. I was gonna have, hey Jerome. See Jerome in the house. All right. So I am back. How is this? How is this? Let me see. I should have printed off the slides. That's probably what I should have did. I didn't think this thing through well. All right. I left off I left off Robert Jameson. That's morning wrong here.
Hey, can you hear me?
Let's see. Yes.
Sorry, I was in a breakout group and I couldn't get my video or my sound to work, so I jumped off and I don't know if I can get back in. I was with Mr. Robbie or Robert Fenwick and Adrian Miller.
Oh,
We
okay.
left 30 seconds, so they should be returning.
Oh, okay. Man, missed it. Oh, well.
It's fine. It's fine. It was just a quick, team builder activity to say hello. So it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Those were my people, though. That's okay. I texted Robert Fenwick and let him know. He was like, "Are you there?" And I was like, "I'm here. I just can't say anything."
I'm trying to think if I even have Robbie's number. I've got to get more hip.
He's great. Well, Steam Exchange has partnered with Family and Children's Place for like 6 years, like the entire time we've existed. So we love them.
Awesome. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. My people's back. All right. They're coming back. They're coming back slowly but surely. Everybody's coming back. All right. All right. Thank you all for participating in that icebreaker. I think some folks are still in their session, so I'm going to give them a couple of moments to join the group before, the numbers are going back up. So everybody's not yet with us. Everybody is awesome. There are still folks joining. Okay. Here's the rest of the groups. Awesome. Good job. Good job. Thank you all so much. I hope you had an opportunity to meet some new people that you may not have known before. And I hope you had an opportunity to talk about what's been going on with you. And TJ said to make sure that it was non-COVID related. So I hope you were able to talk about something else that was not related to that. All right, I am going to share my screen again. I am so sorry, but even in your best efforts, you forget somebody. Robert Jameson Ministries was inadvertently left off of the list. So I want to apologize to the crew at Robert Jameson Ministries. They sent me a text and was like, why aren't I on the list? You are still a part of Blocks. You are, I inadvertently did not type you on. So I'm going to apologize for that. That is my fault. But yes, Robert Jameson Ministries is a part of Blocks. You are a BLOCStar. All right. With that being said, good morning again for anybody who has joined since we went into the breakout room, which a few folks have. We have the privilege of having Jasleen Sethi joining us this morning. She is the project manager and director for our United Communities work. I am privileged to be able to introduce her and what she does and what she is going to be able to offer to each and every one of you as a BLOCStar site. So Jasleen Sethi, please take it away.
Okay, I was muted. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jasleen Sethi, and I am the project manager director of the United Community Initiative, and I also manage the 211 initiative. And I am here today to give you a brief introduction of United Community and how you can utilize it in these difficult times, how you can use the system and connect your families to much needed resources at this point in time. All right, I am going to share my screen. I know you all see a United Community screen, but this is, let me clarify, this is the demo environment and you are not seeing real clients. All right. Felicia, just give me a heads up if you see my screen.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
So United Community agencies just like you all who are trying to serve our community. But the difference here is that they are connected through a technology platform that allows them to do things differently. the same things that we have traditionally been doing, connecting our families to the resources that they need, but in a new innovative way. And that new innovative way is through a technology platform that connects everybody, and then also, and that also gives insights into what happened with those connections and what needs are we meeting as a community. Where are the gaps in the community? So what you see here is United Community strengthening connectivity and accelerating renewal. We're strengthening connectivity. We are bringing more and more folks together, and we are accelerating renewal. And we are identifying those gaps in our community. We are creating and generating data that helps us identify those gaps so that we can advocate for our community better. So like Felicia said, that BLOCS is about advocating about our agencies. So same way, this is helping strengthen our communities, connect the different providers together, and by giving them the tools that they need to connect individuals to the resources that they need, and also at the same time generating data that is helping us advocate better for our community and get our community the resources that need. Anyways, with that, so for today's purposes, I will just go through what United Community is, what is the network, and how does the network function. After that, I will give you next steps of how you can join United Community and serve your clients better, serve your youth families better, and provide that wraparound services to the youth, connecting them to housing services, connecting your families to food security services and things of the sort. So United Community was launched in April 2019. So we're close to 18 months, actually completing 18 months very soon. And here are early sponsors. And this is a community initiative. So our board chairs, so these are our early investors, and our board chairs are Evolve 502, Louisville Metro Government, and the public health and wellness piece of it, and Passport Healthcare. These are the partners that came together and provided the idea and took it through, and of course Metro United Way. So what is United Community? So United Community connects community partners such as social services, government agencies, and healthcare providers to deliver integrated whole person care through a shared technology platform. Our technology provider is Unite Us. So once agencies are connected through the United Community platform, they can make electronic referrals. They can securely share client information. They can track outcomes together and inform community-wide discussion. And we'll see how that happens. All right, I am for some reason stuck. So United Community, we're creating a no wrong door system for individuals to be connected to services across the health, education, and human services. What you see here are the different organizations that are a part of the network today. And they are using this system to make electronic referrals and connect families to services. Across education, healthcare, and community-based organizations. So from startup to scale, when we launched in April 2019, we started with 50 organizations on the program that were making electronic referrals and connecting clients to one another. But today we have 150 organizations on the network, heavily concentrated in Jefferson County, but expanding very quickly to Clark, Floyd, and Oldham, Shelby, and Bullitt counties in Kentucky. And these are some of the new partners that have come on board. 7 counties is coming on board. They are training this week and they'll be on board. The Office of the Neighborhood Places, the Resilience and Community Services have always been a partner, but they're renewing the services that they offer. And Kentuckiana Works, the education board here, is also on board. And we'll talk more about the stopmyeviction.org that is a committed partner here as well. So stopmyeviction.org, this is something that's new to United Community, and that's something new that our community is offering. So stopmyeviction.org launched on August 3rd, 2020. So just 2 weeks back, when the moratorium on eviction was lifted. So right now eviction courts are happening. So that's why this was launched. How this works is there is a centralized intake form, which is available on 211 or stopmyeviction.org, and anybody can go in, the community members can go in and complete a form. And we have 15 intake coordinators, which are managed by the Association of Community Ministries, that monitor the incoming request, and they assess what the client's needs are, and they work with them to get the necessary resources. These coordinators use United Community to connect the incoming clients with this whole network that you see here. And they remain in touch with the client until the services are received. So once somebody completes this form and says that they need help with rental assistance, or they have an eviction date coming up, or anything like that, the intake coordinators work with them and determine how they can get services. Sometimes clients are eligible for getting help through different pots of funding, but they are not aware of that. But the intake coordinators they are trained professionals, trained coordinators who are aware of the different resources that the clients may be eligible for, and they're collecting all of that information and putting in the United Community system and making referrals to all agencies. So when somebody comes in with a rental assistance, it doesn't mean that the coordinators are just looking at providing them rental assistance. They will also talk to them and see if they require assistance with employment, if they require assistance with food, if they require assistance with education training programs, and they connect them to resources in the network as well. All right, so how does this work? Okay, I've talked so much about, you connect, the intake coordinators are connecting, but how does this actually work? So let me give you a brief example. So suppose a client comes in and the care manager identifies a food need, right? They make a secure electronic referral. So this care manager over here asks all the details to the client and makes a secure electronic referral using United Community platform to a food assistance provider. The food assistance provider picks that referral up, and they have all the information that they need. They don't need to reach out to the client for additional information. The client does not have to repeat their story once again. When somebody is in crisis, they're already traumatized. We don't want to increase that anymore. So that's why we collect information just once. That information is collected and is sent securely to a food provider. A food provider provides the service, but when they are working with the client, they also identify additional needs for education, clothing, for employment. So what they do over here is they make another referral. So that's why the no wrong door or any door approach. So once you're in the network, you have access to all these services, and you can be connected to our clients can be connected to all of these services. Privacy and security. So this is a HIPAA compliant system. So the information that is put into the system is completely secure and cannot be accessed by anybody. So it's HIPAA compliant, and the personally identified information is protected for the client. All right, so why participate? Well, what is in it for community-based organizations to participate? Well, this improves the efficiency, and it also smoothens the client experience. The client is not going through telling their story again and again. They tell their story one time, and they have access to 150 organizations that are able to serve them. So here's a traditional referral and a United Community referral. We just go through it real quick. The service providers cannot always exchange personally identified information or health information securely, right? But United Community is, all information is stored and transferred on HIPAA compliant platform, so you don't have to worry about the security. There is limited pre-screening for eligibility, capacity, or geography. So when you make a traditional referral, the client gets the information and then they call the agency and they provide all that information. But it's pre-screened. They're not pre-screened for eligibility. So there's a 50% chance that when they're reaching out an agency, their referral will be accepted. But within United Community, clients are matched with providers they qualify for, because on the system, you can access what the eligibility requirements are for a particular program that you're referring them to. So that increases the chances of the referral being accepted. The onus in a traditional referral is usually on the client. The client has to reach out to the organization. But in United Community, the client information is captured only once and shared on his behalf or his or her behalf. So the client doesn't have to repeat their story all over again every time they need a service to every provider. Service providers have limited insight or feedback loops in a traditional referral. We all know, we all work in that space every day. We don't have the time. We don't have the resources to follow up with each client and say, did you get the service? Or follow up with an organization to find out if the service was provided to the client that you referred to. But within United Community, you can track all of that on your computer screen. You don't have to call anybody. You don't have to email anybody. You can see all of that information here on the platform itself. Let me show you that real quick. So this is what I'm talking about. So this is again, this is a training environment. You are not seeing real clients here. So this is suppose my client. And I made several referrals for them. And I come to their face sheet. So this is going to be your dashboard. This is your dashboard. And I am interested in one particular client that I want to see. I made a referral. Did they get the service or not? So I come here, I see their care team. I see on the left-hand side who they are working with. So I know that somebody is assigned to them and they are working with somebody. I also see all the open cases that they are eligible for, and they are working, somebody's work. So open case means that somebody is working with them. So that assures you that somebody is working with them. And then there's the client timeline. So you can see what happened with the client, where they started, who they reached out to, what happened, all of that. And then you can also come and see what referrals this particular client has open. And you can see the status. So this referral is accepted. This referral is still pending. Nobody has accepted it yet. So all of these things, you can get insights. It's a closed loop, and you can get insights into the client journey with United Community. And again, there's an aspect of longitudinal data collection. So this data is collected, and nobody's sharing your client-specific data. The law does not allow United Community to do that. But at an aggregate level, we can share this data out in the community to highlight what are the topmost needs in our community and where are the gaps in our community, so that we can secure more funding. All right, so I made a referral, but how do I make sure that somebody is going to pick it up? That's where the network comes into effect. That's where we come in, because we are constantly monitoring the activity on the network. And when an organization signs up, they make a commitment to some of the to abide by some of the network standards. Again, we're not holding them completely accountable, but we understand that sometimes things don't go. So if it says 2 business days, it doesn't have to be 2 business days. There is some leniency there, but these are certain network standards that ensure that the clients are getting the services. So some examples here are, so the maximum length of time that partners should take in responding to a referral is 2 business days. We expect that once an organization joins the network, they are accepting the incoming referrals in less than 2 business days. How many attempts should be made to contact an unresponsive client before closing a case or referral? 3 attempts. So we require that you make 3 attempts over 10 business days. This goes both ways, because we require this from you, but then the agencies that you are referring to are also required to do the same. That means that your clients are getting the services that they need. that means that clients are not falling through the cracks, and it ensures that your clients are getting the services you referred them to. So it goes both ways. You abide by these network standards, and so does the organization that you are making referrals to. One other example is that once a quarter, we require organizations to update their organization profile, because like I said, this helps determine the client's eligibility and helps with accurate referrals to ensure that client needs are met. And then the maximum length of time for users to take to close client cases once they know the outcome is 2 business days. So once you know that you can provide the service, or you determine that you cannot provide the service, we require that the cases are closed within 2 business days, because then that's a flag in the system, and that lets us know that, or that lets the referral originating organization know that that the referral was picked up and the service was provided. Felicia, I don't know how I'm doing on time, so please feel free to ask me to stop whenever you need to.
All right, we do have a question, Jasleen. Someone wants to know the cost to the organizations who are interested.
Absolutely, I was going to come to that. So for community-based organizations, you can get 25 licenses for free, at no cost to you. So you can get 25 licenses at no cost to you. All you have to invest is training your users. So when I say licenses, that means that every user in your organization will have a license. Due to HIPAA compliance, we are required that that every user has their own license, their own user ID and login, and logins cannot be shared due to HIPAA compliance issues. So for you all, 25 free licenses for free. If that goes over 25 licenses, if you have more than 25 users in your organization, then we talk about pricing. And this is just an example of the needs that I was talking about that help us. So right now we know that housing and shelter is the topmost need, followed by transportation, individual and family support, and utilities. So this just helps the entire community to advocate better for the needs in our community. And then we can also track where we are serving. So the green areas that you see here are where the services are being provided most. So darker the area, darker the number of clients from this area. I won't spend much time in this. All right, so that calls for next steps, and that's where I was going to cover the cost. So next steps, if you are interested and you would like to sign up, then you submit a partner registration form. Here's the link for the partner registration form. You will also receive this link in your email. Felicia will be sending a link to this. Or if you think that's too much, you think that's too much to go through, it's very hard, there's too much hoops, then you just call me, email me, and let me know. You can email Felicia and let her know, and I will connect with you. So the partner registration form basically helps us collect detailed information about the services and programs your organization offers. The eligibility requirements, again, we need all of that information to update your profile. And staff members, so how many users are going to be at who needs a login, all of that. Then after you have submitted your partner registration form, we schedule a workflow consultation meeting with you. This is where we walk you through like a brief demo of the platform itself and ask you how you plan to use the system. Then you attend, all the users at your organization are required to attend a software training. And when I say software training, it's not really that much. It's a 1-hour training that walks you through the interface, the software that I showed you, and teaches you how to make a referral, how to accept a referral, how to close a case, and all of that. So we have bi-weekly, there are 2 options for training. We have bi-weekly virtual group trainings every other Thursday. So the next training coming up for our local network is September 3rd, and it's at 9:30 a.m. So every other Thursday at 9:30 a.m. we have virtual group training, or there's a self-paced software training option as well. So you will be assigned to a course, and you can take that course on your own time. And when I say a course, it's not very, very long. It's a brief course that will take you less than an hour to complete. And you can register for the trainings using this link. Again, I will send you this link in the follow-up email as well. And once you have had your workflow consultation meeting, you have attended a software training, you are good to go live. Once your users have been trained, you are good to go live and connect clients to the resources. With that, thank you so much. And I am open to any questions. I see a chat comment over. I would like to share this with our senior leadership, and I couldn't possibly explain as it. Will you? Yes, of course. We will have a recording, and I can come and talk to your senior leadership. So if you want me to have a community session, if you have providers, your group, just let me know, and I will come and present this and give a brief demo. If you realize that this was good and you like it and you want a demo of the actual system, like you want to see how a referral is made and all of that, I can schedule time with you and we can do this. All right, any other questions? Come on, group. I know several of you have pivoted, as our team tells us that several of you have pivoted and you are providing basic needs support as well. So this is a very good tool for you to have to connect. When you provide that basic needs support, you can connect to connect families to these resources using United Community. And I also would like to mention, I don't think I covered this, you can call 211. So you can direct your client to call 211. And 211 is also using United Community, and they are connecting callers to the resources available within United Community. So 211 is also a resource that you can leverage when you provide that basic needs support for your youth.
Excellent, thank you. If any questions, if you don't have any questions at this exact moment, you have the ability to either put it in the chat and we can capture it and answer it, or you can contact Jesseline at any point in time. Tomorrow, you should get an email from me sometime tomorrow. I will have the link for how you can register, as well as all of Jesseline's information at that time. All right, thank you, Jesseline. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Felicia. One more thing, if you think that you want me to come and talk to your leadership, or if you're interested, just put your organization name in the chat box, and I will get in touch with you all. I will take it on myself to get in touch with you all. I know you all are already doing awesome work in the community, and sometimes it can get hard to do one more thing. So I can do that for you. Just leave your organization name in the chat box, and I will reach out to you.
Excellent.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, United Community and 211 is very helpful resources that we can offer you free of charge for up to 25 licenses. So I'm excited to say that to you. Folks are already putting their information into the chat. All right, without further ado, I present to you Crystal Hawkins. She is part of JCPS. She coordinates and manages their family engagement and much of their community support. I think the world of Crystal and the work that she's doing with the families and the communities that she serves. She works absolutely tirelessly with them, and she is now offering to help and work with you. So without further ado, I hand to you Crystal Hawkins.
All right, happy Thursday, everyone. I'm Crystal Hawkins. I'm our district's family engagement specialist. And I just want to start by really just thanking all of you all for taking care of our babies and taking care of our community. So basically, my role, the fact that you all are focused on going beyond compliance, it really speaks to my heart, because basically how I came to the role as family engagement specialist was really from you all standpoint. I used to work in nonprofit before I went into education. And when I worked in nonprofit, I always felt like, you know, I'm doing so much with my kids in nonprofit and, you know, trying to do all the wraparound supports. And then there were some of my babies that when they went to school, I'm like, what's happening when you get in school? Wait a minute, we were doing so good. And so when I went into our school district, I, wanted to really make sure that I got to our kids right when we needed it in the classroom. So in the work that I do right now, I work to really help our schools better engage families and the community, because here's what our schools are saying. Our schools are saying, we need help. We want to get to the community. And I remember my perspective as a community provider saying, I want to get into the schools. I want to work with you, with the school leaders. So my role is really to help bring everyone together. So I'm going to explain some of the partnership opportunities that we have. I'm going to explain the work that I'm doing with our district. And I'm going to use this as an opportunity for us to start this relationship. So my role is engagement. So I like to stay in contact with everyone. So I'll give you some opportunities on how to do that. So I'm going to also share my screen. I'm going to share a presentation with you all that will be available for you all once we continue. And I'm checking out the chat. If you have any questions as I'm kind of going through this, feel free to put them in the chat as I'm kind of walking through this. So on here, you'll see my email address. If you want to send me an email, let's connect on Twitter. That's great too. You'll see my information on there. But first, I know that, let's see, there we go. All right, so we have 7 really important things that Felicia, we talked about that we're gonna get through today. And I have 20 minutes to get through it, and I know we're gonna get through it. So I have 7 really awesome things that I wanna share with you all. But my focus really is about acknowledging the fact that we can't do this without you all. We know that right now in NTI, and I've been saying this before NTI, we know that our families and our community members are pertinent and super important for the success of our students. So with what we're doing in schools, what we're doing in classrooms, it is absolutely impossible to do this without the support of our community and our families. So that is really the basis of kind of why I'm coming to everyone today. So the first thing, when I talk about family engagement, I include this when I talk to our schools, when I talk to our staff members. I always include this because some people start to think that working with families and working with the community is just cute, and it's not just cute. It's awesome, but it's not just cute. So I'm also working on my doctorate with Bellarmine, focusing on family engagement. And there's so much research to show why family and community engagement is so important. It shows that there are higher students who have more engagement, have higher test scores, better attendance, better registration. There's lower teacher turnover, there are fewer suspensions, there are fewer referrals. So all the things we're trying to work to achieve, when families and communities are engaged, we get there, right? So it's not just something that we want to see. It's something that if we want to see something different in our district, it's absolutely imperative. So when people talk about like, what is family engagement? Like what's community engagement? It's something that has to be positive. It has to be focused on a relationship. It should be ongoing. So it shouldn't be something that, you talk to someone one time, you never talk to them again. There should really be things happening at home, in the community, at school, and it should be a partnership. So that's really what I try to work on, is making sure that there's a partnership, that there's not just one person telling you all information, but you can't give any feedback. And it should always be focused on student learning. So what are the goals we have for our students, and where do we want them to be? So I commend you all, because you all have been focusing on what's happening in Cascade. You've been looking at those outcomes for your students. You've been looking at those interactions. So my role is hopefully to bridge that gap, to make sure that there's a partnership with the school and home and the community. So I like to show this illustration because this is literally what I'm focused on. So it's a heavy lift, but it's something that is my moral imperative because of not only what I believe in, but because of my history with JCPS. So I am a JCPS student and came from a very difficult childhood. And for me, the system was not set up for my mother to be engaged in our system. And it was just definitely very, very difficult for me as a child. So for me, I'm really focused on how do we change how we engage with our families and the community, and not make it just, it's going to be something that's, we're going to fix something here, fix something there, but how do we fix our system? So we look at, this is a wonderful illustration about, equity. We go from inequality to equality where, we're giving equal things. We go to equity where it's focused on what do kids need, but then we go to justice when it's focused on fixing the tree. We're trying to stand that tree up and fix that tree. So what I'm really trying to focus on is looking at what are the systems we have at schools, what are the systems we have in our district to where we can partner on a regular basis. And so that, to me, the justice component is what, keeps me up, what I pray about, what I focus on, and what we're really trying to work on. So there's a lot of information on this slide and you'll get it. But I'm going to kind of break down just in really general terms what we're trying to do. So within the last 3 years, I've been working with National Center for Families Learning. We have a partnership and a vendor agreement with National Center for Families Learning because I can't do it alone. We can't do it alone. So for the last 3 years, we've been focusing on building up our schools to where our schools can better work with families in the community, building up our district. We have a district team where we work together. We call ourselves the face of JCPS. And Krista and Felicia are joining that team as well. Whoop, whoop. And then we have actually one of my favorite component of that is our parents and our community and family piece. So we started with having schools identify one parent leader that can really work to build their capacity and engage other family members, right? So this last year, we had an enormous response. We've had a lot of parents, and we are super grateful for that. This year, we're trying to not only just engage parent leaders, but we're trying to engage community leaders. So that's why I'm coming to you all. So we're trying to, as we work with parents to kind of get them dialed into how they can partner and work with the schools, we're also working with the community on that. So we have like 3 different levels this year. So when we're working with our district, we have one level where it's basically all schools can participate. Community members can participate in just webinars to help you understand what's family engagement, how to get engaged. We do Facebook chats on our JCPS family engagement page. So that's really just kind of a, hey, whoever wants information about how to get engaged, what's some information that's pretty important. That's kind of our level 1, just general level. Then we kind of move into level 2, right? So level 2 is where we really start to look at really kind of some real partnerships that we're trying to see with our community, our families, and the school. So we're looking at more small group sessions with schools. We're looking at, setting goals at schools, and they're more virtual trainings, quarterly virtual trainings. And about 35 to 40 schools is probably what we see ourselves kind of working with. Now, level 3 is where we are really trying to look at a partnership model where it's really focused on school goals, and really looking at, okay, school, what are some of your really your academic goals, and how can we really partner with your families, with your community, with your teachers, so that everyone can really be working together on these goals. And so with NCFL, we'll facilitate sessions to really work on how to focus on some goals at the school and how to grow from there. So that's kind of a general gist of what those 3 levels look like. And listen, we understand that every school is kind of in a different place. Every communities are different places. Some people are like, just give us general information, we're good. Some people are like, we need a little bit more support. We don't really, we really kind of need some partners. We're really not sure. And then level 3 is kind of like, we really want to go all in and we need a lot of support and we're here. So those are kind of just the general gist of those three levels of support. And I'm going to call on you all. I'm going to actually pull you in on that level toward the end on this. But I'm going to jump to something that we have right now. So that before is kind of the work that we're doing to support our schools. Now we have this beautiful thing called NTI, right? So the support that we're offering to our schools, that's going to happen if we're in NTI or not. That's going to happen all year round. Now NTI is happening right now. It's right in our face. So we understand that there is a lot of information that schools need, that you all need, that families need to really make sure that our students are prepared for NTI. So I invite you all to check out our NTI 2.0 Family and Community Resource Toolkit. So on this toolkit, and I just put a kind of a screenshot of the page, but on this toolkit, you'll be able to request technical support, request devices on this page. You'll also be able to, oh, I went right to it. Right, so I'm gonna actually show you the page a little bit. So on this page, you can request devices, you can look at different supports, JCPS meal services, Parent Place. You can look at Parent Place, which is how your families are going to be filling out forms this year. So all the forms they would normally go to school and fill out, they're gonna fill them out on Parent Place so you can get this information. Another really important component are our how-to videos. So you are probably gonna have students and you're gonna be supporting them with how to do NTI. So you may be wondering, okay, Crystal, tell me what this Google Meets thing is, okay? Tell me what all this stuff is. So we're putting together guides that you all can really go through to check out, like, what are these things? So if you look at the support videos, we have videos about what is Screencastify, the Google support videos on here, different translator tools. We also have like different instructional tool videos. So one good example is like Gale. I didn't know what Gale was, you all. So you might have a teacher that's saying, hey, I want my kiddos to get on Gale. And I'm like, I don't know Gale, who is she? So if you're working with students and they're asked to get on like an instructional tool and you're like, what is that? You can go to this page and kind of get some information about what are these instructional tools they're asking to do. All right, so I see that Krista put some information about School Connect, and we're going to be going there in just a second. All right. All right, I'm going through my slideshow, but it's taking me to the page. All right, here we go. Okay, all right, so we went through how-to videos. Those are very helpful. And if you see that a video that you need is not on there, there is an option to where you can give me some feedback. So on this page, we want your feedback. If you're like, okay, those videos are great, but we still don't understand blank, please feel free to give us feedback on what you need. So let's see, I'm pretty sure I have School Connect on there, but maybe not. All right, so School Connect, let me go back. So School Connect is a new app that we have, and it is a way for our students to actually message their teachers and our families to message teachers directly. So it's this icon that you see right here, School Connect. So I'm very excited about this app because before this, we had about 20,000 of our families that don't speak English that could not reach out to our schools in their native language of choice. So finally, we have an app to where families can reach out and it will be automatically translated for our teachers and our schools. And the schools can automatically respond in their language. So School Connect is kind of like almost a Facebook. It's kind of like an app to where you can list events. Teachers can have virtual events with their class, They can post, videos of them reading. They can post videos and share, and families can directly respond with questions in their native language. So right now, a lot of schools are reaching out and inviting parents to activate their School Connects accounts. So you might see that, and some of your families may talk to you about School Connects. So if you are finding, like, where can I find this School Connects app? Where can I log in? You can go to this page, this NTI 2.0 page. And if you go to that School Connects link, you all can activate your accounts. All right. So I think, let's see. Jasleen, you said you tried to access Google Class last night and it said you don't have access and you were signed in as your student. All right. So if you go to that, if you check out the how-to video and you tried to sign in as your student and you still could not, there are options of where you can go to get technical support for that. So I can't troubleshoot. I'm not even going to act like I can try to troubleshoot for you right now. There's definitely a number where you can get technical support for that.
Well, I was just bringing this up because there might be other parents. I was able to ask access and contact my teacher and get all of that. But my thing is, how do we make it simpler for other parents if they encountered the same issue? That's why I brought this up.
Right. And to be honest with you, we are asking, parents to definitely reach out to your schools. We're hoping that these how-to videos will help. I know there are some videos that are translated if we go to, to ESL, if there's different languages. And also even with School Connects, we've even already gotten messages from, families that are saying, sending messages to their teachers. I could not figure out how to get on. So I recommend sending a message to your school. And if the help desk is not available, hopefully someone will be able to walk them through it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great question. Great question. That's the meat of it right now, right? Yeah. So, so a couple things I'm going to walk you through in addition to the toolkit and the how-to videos. All right. So we also understand that right now, you all are, going to have students that you're helping with NTI, right? And, I shout out to Florence and, and data team and Kyle. And they really just, gave some suggestions on what to really help within, when they come to your site, what to really help them with NTI. So the first thing is you can help them with logging into the online meetings. Now with the logging in, it's going to be the students' login information. So you'll want to definitely be working with the families to get their student login information so that you can help them get on there. With completing assignments, if you look at the how-to videos, and this is, I'm gonna tell you, this is something that I had to learn in NTI too, because my son said, oh, everything's finished, and then everything wasn't always submitted. So we have some how-to videos on how to check with that, how to make sure that, all the assignments are completed. And you may just help them with using the different software if they can use it at your site. So we've included the helpline. That helpline is there. There are a lot of people dedicated to respond to it. And then also, if you are working and you may need to reach out to your teachers or to the teachers of the kids that you're working with, there is a parent consent form that you'll want to have them complete. So that form is included in this presentation. I think I may need to update this link, but you will get a link on, if you're trying to reach out to the teacher and you're saying, working with the student, they're struggling with this, or I really want to help with blank. As long as the parents give you consent to do that, which I'm sure they would as in an OST setting, then you just would fill out that form. And our data team may talk a little bit more about that form too. All right, so also today, I'm gonna be joining you all a second time. At 6 o'clock today, we're going to do a live learning session. So I recommend you all join in on our live learning session at 6 o'clock. What we're trying to do, the vision for this, and shout out to Renee Murphy, our Chief of Communications with JCPS. Her whole vision was, how can we kind of walk families through, you know, live, what school is going to be like in this NTI world, and then answer questions at the same time. So she's going to be walking families through, we're going to be walking families through how to log in, how to get your Chromebook, what to do once you have your Chromebook, what are some questions that you've been encountering, ECE services and supports, what are some things that you'd want to get with that. So I welcome you all to join us at 6 o'clock. And we're just going to try and walk through this. And in addition to that, I also recommend, I apologize, I'm moving all around. So in addition to the live learning session, what we're doing is we're sharing information from a district level. But a lot of the meat is also going to be at the school orientations. Now, here's what's amazing. A lot of the school orientations, they are recording their orientations. So if you are working with a particular school and you want specific information for that school, I recommend definitely either watching the school orientation or just requesting a recorded version of their orientation as well. But hopefully our orientation or our live learning session today at 6 o'clock will definitely help out. All right, so this is something I really, 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 really want from as many of you all as possible. All right, so we have a JCPS Parent Advisory Council and Family Engagement Form. So in the past years, like I said before, we've been thinking about how to engage parent leaders, right? But we've been missing an important component, and that's you all. We've been missing the community. So on this form, we really just want to know, who are you as your community organization? Do you have a certain school that you like to be engaged with, that you'd like to work with? And just what would be the level of engagement that you would like? And that will help us kind of know how to plug you in the way that we're working with schools. So what we always get to when we're working with schools, you know, we'll get teams together, they'll talk about goals that they have, and then we'll ask, who are your community partners? And then we'll get I don't know. So we're trying to facilitate that for schools. And I will tell you, schools are focused on, you know, the teaching and learning aspects and aren't always trained on how to reach out to community partners, or may not have the time, or may not even know where to start. So if you all would be able to fill out this form to tell us how you'd like to be engaged, it will help us pair you up with schools. In addition to that, when we bring our council together, we often share JCPS updates that will help you better serve kids that are in your various sites. So you'll get this presentation, and I really, really hope that you all will complete this form. And once I'm finished, I'm going to put this form in the chat. That's how much I really want you all to fill it out. I'm going to put it in the chat for you as well. So in addition to that, in this presentation, I believe in sharing as much information. I don't like to hoard resources because it takes a village and it's not about me. So I will share in this presentation a link again to our family toolkit, what I shared before. I'll also share a link to our family engagement Facebook page. And I welcome that you all get on that Facebook page. What I love about that page is we have families and community members that will post questions, and they'll answer each other's questions, which is absolutely what we want in a community. We want everybody supporting one another. And then also, we have a lot of public resources that we share on our JCPS resource drive. So I know that sometimes with our, when we share things on Google, it could be private to students. So if it's going to be an instructional page, it is private to students. But we've made some of our resources, especially when we want to engage the community, we made them public. So if you check that out, there's just some resources on, like, you know, how to engage. We have different webinars on there that we'll share. So there's a link to that as well. So I told you I was trying to get in 7 items really, really quickly. Here are some of the people that I work with within CFL. And that's pretty much it. But again, I just want to end with my appreciation and gratitude for all of you all. We cannot do it alone. My heart is just goes out to all the families that are really trying to figure out NTI. And I'm grateful every time I come to a space where I know there are partners that want to help, because to me, it's like, how do I do this? And how do I serve as many families? But to know that we're all in this together, it really, it definitely helps me to know that our kids will be taken care of. So I didn't get to see all the chat questions, but I'm open for some questions, or I'll look at the chat on there as well.
Crystal, one of the things that folks were asking in the chat is translation of the NTI support page. They were asking about translation. Let's see, how do you help parents or help the community sign up for Connect? Those kinds of questions.
Awesome. So we have linked on there to our ESL page, where our ESL department, fabulous ESL department, they're actually doing translated parent trainings. So they're taking families through, what to do, how to sign up in various languages. So I can put in the link their site as well. And I do know that they're offering just various trainings on that. We are trying to work on how to get that family toolkit translated into multiple language. I've put in that request, but not sure where we are with that yet. But I do know that our fabulous ESL department has been offering trainings in various languages at the same time. All right, any other questions? Oh, thanks for—
Can you put the last page back up for a second?
Uh-huh.
Allison, which page are we talking about? She said the last page. Is that the research page, or are you talking about the who's available, the names? Allison asked that in the chat.
Oh, the one with the names. Okay. And you'll get this presentation, Allison.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. The one with the names, our NCFL team.
Awesome. Yeah. So everyone following this presentation, tomorrow you will get a copy of this presentation. So the names will be on it. It's going to be an electronic document. So the links will be live, and you'll have the opportunity to click on them and go directly to the pages in which she has listed. So you'll be able to play around with it first thing in the morning. You will have it tomorrow morning. Is there any other burning questions? If so, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask.
Hey, this is Adrienne from Kentucky Refugee Ministries. Just a quick question. Hey, just a quick question with Connects, and forgive me if I missed this somewhere, but how is this information on Connects going out to families as far as like what the password they need to use is and what like phone number or email that JCPS is using? Because for a lot of our EL families, they may not use email and they may not have access to that. So that we want to help them get on Connects, and we know that once they get on, hopefully they can, speak in their own language to pass messages to teachers and to get messages too, but we just don't know how to get them on.
Right. So if you go to, so we do have translated invitations, and I believe there are a lot of, I can't even tell you all the languages we have them translated into, but we have already printed up invitations that can be copied and pasted into any message that you would send out. So, and when we also have instructions for parents, just like kind of how-to instructions with School Connects in various languages. And the great thing about School Connects is because they work, since translation is their major thing, if there's a language that's not represented, they've been pretty fast about getting some additional translations for us. So I know that our translation department, Language Services, has reached out to us and has requested translated copies, and they've been able, School Connects is actually able to get it to us like really, really fast. So Adrienne, I can actually just put it in the chat. We actually have some public resources that you can kind of peruse through and see what's available right now. And if there's something that you don't, see, let me know and we could get some, translated copies of it.
Thank you, because the letter that I saw that was translated into a lot of other languages just said you will be sent a text message invitation to sign up for Connects. But then our families were like, we're not getting those text messages, and maybe if some of them are getting them, they can't read them. So we're just trying to figure out like what is the other way that we can help them, via that site or whatever, like log on to Connects.
Mm-hmm. And there's also a register.schoolconnect site. So it's, I think that's, register.schoolconnects, where all you need to do is just put in their name, their child's name, and then they'll verify the date of birth, and they'll get that activation code. They'll get what they need there. So I can also see about if that page is translated into different languages too.
That would be great.
Yeah, there's a page where they can just go online and then put their information, and then it should be, it will give them their activation code.
Oh, cool. Would you mind to put that in the chat or send that in some follow-up notes so we'll have that link?
Yeah, I'll put that in there, totally.
Thank you.
The first thing they should see, I mean, whenever you get that activation code and you go to the app, the first thing it takes you through to is language. So before it starts to communicate with them at all, they get a list of various language options that they can click on, and then it'll start communicating with them. So the first option is for them to choose their language.
Great. And if their language is not represented, should we let you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, please log in today at 6 o'clock. It will help you as a community person who's helping parents or helping the children at your site log in. They're going to be taking live questions at the time. Crystal will be online for that as well. So we are immensely, immensely grateful for Crystal. Her contact information is going to be sent out tomorrow as well. I see a hand raised. Jamie,
Mm-hmm.
you have a burning question?
With Clanisha and Jamie.
Is there a burning question?
I accidentally raised my hand. I'm sorry. I was trying to do something in the chat.
Waving your hand, hey.
All right, Clanisha, do you have a question?
Yes, so I have a question. I'm the unit director at the Shawnee Boys and Girls Club, and we are still doing programming, but also trying to assist our kids with NTI. What would it look like? Because we're still trying to figure out our schedule. Mm-hmm. So I have 2 different times during the day for students to like log in and complete NTI stuff. How does that look? Like, do you think that would interfere with their grades, or, if we're just giving them allocated slots to work on that? I mean, because we're after school program 9 months out the year, and we're still trying to, fulfill grants and make sure that our kids are served and getting assistance. But if we have those certain times during the day for our kids to sign in, how do you think that would look? And I just need some honest advice because we're trying to work on our schedule. So what do you think?
So, honestly, and it's a great question because everyone's trying to manage what the schedules look like that the teachers are sending, right? So as much as we really wanted it to be consistent to where kind of teachers would all have the same like live time, and we could kind of know like, okay, they're logging in at this time, we're here. I know that it's not the case at every single school. I just know that. Now, I think a great place to start would be to kind of understand, because right now all the teachers are giving their orientations. All the schools are kind of giving the orientation. So they're telling everyone, here's when the live class sessions will be. And it's almost like that's kind of what we're having to, as families and community members, we're kind of having to go around what that live time is. Now, if you know that you're working with young people and, there are things going on in their lives where that is going to be, when they're at your facility, that's going to be the time that's going to be best for them to get on and have live times with their teachers. I think that is information that the schools and teachers really would want to know. So if you have a group of students, and listen, there are different barriers, this is when we can get them on. You know, we understand there are a lot of things going on. So if that's the time where you can get them on, I would, you know, see about communicating with their schools and with their teachers that can we, maybe if this is not you all's live time, can we set up something? Or maybe can we coordinate around when I know kids are going to be in the facility here? So, I mean, I wish I could give you a more concrete across the board answer, but that's what we're sharing with schools, that right now, family is community, right? Like, you all are the ones that are going to be helping a lot of students get on, making sure that, like, hey, come on, you need to make sure you log on. Like, it's going to be you all doing that, and you all do a great job of that. So that would be just my recommendation is, once you all set up your schedule, if you know that's the only time that some of your kids are getting on, then I would be communicating with the schools and the teachers to let them know, hey, I have a captive audience right here. Is there any way that we can set up a live time? Or I know some teachers have been giving recorded live times and still counting that. So say they're not able to get on and listen at that time, they can still listen to the recorded and submit their assignments and get credit for it. So I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. That's a great question.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. I know that there are probably a lot of questions that you want to ask. We have some choices. One, put them in the chat, and perhaps Crystal can answer some through the chat. The second one is, we are going to give you Crystal's email. You can email Crystal and she can answer them for you by email, but for the sake of time, we are going to move forward in the program, or else we can spend the rest of today. And I know we have some great information for you. And so for the sake of time, we are going to keep moving. Crystal, I appreciate you, all that you're doing for the families as well as the communities that you serve. And so I'm immensely grateful for you being here this morning. So please feel free to use the chat, everyone. Crystal, for as long as she's on, will be able to answer questions. Those that she cannot answer, feel free to email. All right. Without further ado, we are going to move forward. It's 10:25. Now is the great reveal. All right. Great reveal. Let me make sure that everybody can see my screen. All right. I pushed the button. Everything is like, takes a moment to turn. Come on. Let's try it again. My screen wants to be contrary. Ta-da! Nope. All right. It's under the weather. Hold on, you guys. Every time I want to be like really cool and this is awesome and all these kind of great things. All right. Introducing this year's theme for Blocks. I know I was going to do it at the beginning of the call, but I thought it would be better for this next portion of the conversation. Blocks has theme this year, and that theme is compassion over compliance. For the next portion, or the next half of our conversation, we're going to talk about Cascade. We're going to talk about SRYB. We're going to talk about quality. We're going to talk about professional development. Our theme for this year, in each of these sections, you're going to notice something that you need to take note of. This year is like no other. We are in a pandemic. We are helping our families in ways that we probably have never had to help them before. We're helping them find resources. We're helping them, have a safe place for their kiddos to go in the day and or the afternoon. And so we want to show you guys grace. Our job this year is grace. So think about that as we move forward in this conversation. Compassion over compliance. Our next presenters are also from JCPS. I am going to be bringing on to you the folks who are going to talk about Cascade. And so I am going to allow them to take over. We have some good news. Take notes. Compassion over compliance. All right, JCPS.
All right, it's me, Krista. I guess I get to be the one to tell the first good news. So I think a lot of you know me, Krista Drescher-Burt from JCPS. All right, Kyle, next slide, please. Are you there, James?
It is taking a moment. She's right. This is.
That's from Andy.
There we go.
Okay, we've got this. I think probably most of you all know that the first day that we will, at the earliest possible day, is October 6th. So this is just the modified school calendar, right? The red and blue there, the slash line, first possible day that will be in person. Tuesday's the first day for NTI. Okay, go ahead, Kyle. Okay, Felicia told me to put this in black and white. During NTI, there will be no requirement to return any signed consent forms, none, unless you need to speak directly to the teachers or JCPS personnel. So you will not have to turn in anything unless you want to speak to the teachers or speak to schools. During Crystal's talk, though, it sounded like there might be a lot of desire to speak to teachers. So if that's the case, you will need to have parents do the form. Otherwise, you can skip it altogether and just work with the students. So here it is, literally in black and white. There will be no requirements for any signed forms. Okay. All right, that's all I've got. I'm turning it over to Kyle.
So my part of the presentation.
Oh, hold on, Kyle. There's a question.
Okay.
It's electronic.
Yes. Okay. So my part of the presentation focuses on what we're going to do when we get back in person. So if we all do our good job staying #healthy at home and wearing our masks and get rid of this virus, and we go back to school on the first day we possibly can, and we all get back to normal, which we can't wait for, then we will restart. We will do as much as we can this school year as far as repopulating our rosters in Cascade by getting those sign-off forms to Krista and Catherine, I'm sorry. That works with Krista. And we have an electronic version now, so that will make it a little simpler. Just like everything, it's like, why couldn't we have done an electronic version a long time ago? That would have been nice. So we're all seeing that we could have worked from home and had electronic versions of everything now. So when we get back in person, I want to talk about what Cascade is, if you've never seen it, what its purpose is, and what kind of functionality you can get out of it and how it can help you at your site. So Cascade is our homemade data platform that we use for a lot of different things inside JCPS. The teachers have used it for years. It's been around for longer than 15 years. Infinite Campus is our primary student information system. So if you hear Parent Portal or Student Portal, those are Infinite Campus. Those are different faces of Infinite Campus. Cascade has always been our supplement data system when we need to collect something or do something like share information with our community that Infinite Campus is not really built to do. So for you all, Cascade, I better get this straight, provides you a place to maintain a roster. That roster is filled by those parent sign-offs that you are giving to Krista. So that parent sign-off creates your roster inside Cascade and gives you access to their information. It also gives you a place to record attendance for which kiddos are coming to your site on which days. So that is something that later when we get into evaluation and things like that, we might start calling dosage. We want to know, we want to be able to report out on the students that come to you a minimum amount. We don't want to just say, schools aren't held responsible for kids that don't come to them enough days out of the school year, and we want to be able to do the same thing with you and say, here are the kids you are serving, here are the kids you are serving once or twice a year, but then here's a core group of kids that you're serving a lot, and here's the effect that you're having on them. So it gives you a place to do some data entry and keep track of your attendance. And of course, most importantly, in my opinion, it gives you a place to get information back on those students so that you can adjust your services and help them the best way possible. So when you log into Cascade, you're going to see a dashboard screen that's going to give you the students that you're serving, their school attendance, and how it compares to the rest of the district. It's going to regurgitate back to you the attendance that you've been recording, and it's going to give you an overall rundown of your students, their demographics, their test scores overall, and what they, what your kids really look like, and help you communicate that to other organizations. Again, the most important part of Cascade that we want to emphasize is that it's going to give you feedback on your kiddos and what your kiddos are doing during the school day that will help you adjust your practices and work with the kids in a formative way. So this is what Cascade is specialized in doing with our teachers in the school district. Teachers take Cascade data, sit around in PLCs, professional learning communities, and have meetings about the instructional information that comes back from different types of tests. And we take it in Cascade, we put it all in one place, and we try to give those teachers and those administrators in the school building a summary of sort of next steps with those kids. And we want to do that same thing for you. So on a screen like this is coming from our MAP test that we give 3 times a year. And over on the left, you would have student names that I've wiped off. And then you would go across here and you would see, hey, the student with the green circle around it, he's doing fine in informational text, the key ideas and details. But then, I've got another student that I didn't realize doesn't understand that one particular goal on the MAP test. So, he took a MAP test in the fall, he's going to take another one in the winter, he's going to take another one in the spring. So I want to sit with him and make sure that I pull out a magazine instead of, he always goes to, during reading time, maybe he always goes toward the fiction. Well, every once in a while, maybe pull out a magazine or something informational, a newspaper, an article online, something about politics, something in the real world that's going to give him some information. And I'm just going to talk to him about what are the key ideas of this information article. I see on that same line, he's average in literary text, but he needs more help on informational texts. So that helps me know what to do with that student. And it doesn't have to be all the time, and it doesn't have to be real heavy, but coming from you, it might mean a lot more. You just can connect to the student differently than the teachers in the schools can sometimes. Let them know that, hey, keeping up with current events, reading articles that inform you instead of just entertain you is also helpful. So we've got a ton of data in Cascade like this that you can look through and see which students need to focus on which pieces to learn. But we also want to provide in Cascade a summary of who you're serving so that you can go tell other people about that, whether it's a funder or whether you just need to report out, hey, you know, I'm serving the 40214 zip code. I'm serving mostly females, you know, and which races I'm serving. And I've cut some of this screen off, but there's some other demographic reports there also. And then, you know, hey, little Johnny might have been coming to your site all week and, you know, saying, oh, I don't need tutoring help, and going straight to, you know, the basketball court and playing basketball and playing around. But then you log into Cascade and realize, hey, you just had 4 suspensions pop up. You've been suspended from school all week. So let's talk about that. And how come you think you can come here and have free time and you haven't been to school all week? So we want to give you a little bit of insight that you might not otherwise be getting into their attendance and through the proxy of the days suspended, their behavior. So we don't really give you any other behavior data on that student, but you can see that they spent some days suspended on our attendance screen. So it's important, again, for you all to be able to connect to the students in a much different way than we can and talk to them about the importance of whether it's showing up to school, not being suspended, or hey, the importance of informational text reading and keeping up with current events. And then we do ask a little bit of data back from you in normal, non-NTI times, that we have a screen where you are able to enter attendance for your kiddos, who comes to your club on that day. So I have that one nice little column that just says attended. This screen is capable of going a lot deeper and recording that you did reading with the student for an hour, you did math with the student for an hour, and then they played basketball for an hour. But that is never, very few of our sites have really recorded that level of data. For the most part, all we want to record is that on this date, a student showed up at your site, so that we get that sort of minimum amount of dosage that they're coming to you a certain amount of time, and so that we know who's coming to our after school sites, and so that we can report back to you that, you know, your kids that only come once or twice, obviously you probably didn't have a great effect on their grades or their attendance, but the kids that come to you all the time, you have a wonderful effect on those kids, and we can help you do those types of reports later. So when school is back in session, we will turn Cascade back on. All of this will come back online when we know that the student is not coming to you during the school day, that they're going to school during the school day, and they're coming to you after school or before school. Out of school time is the purpose of recording that attendance. We definitely don't want to record attendance that might be sort of double counted. If they're coming to you as an NTI hub and getting help during the school day, we don't want to record attendance also in Cascade and say that that's out of school time attendance. So we're not doing any of that right now, but when we're back in person, then we will focus on getting those forms turned in. We will focus on getting attendance taken, and we will do some trainings about retrieving the data and looking at the data so you can understand what the students did in previous years. Right now during NTI, the MAP test that they took last winter is probably not super formative because we didn't test MAP in the spring for district-wide, and we didn't have K-Prep, our state required test, in the spring at all. So the newest data I have in Cascade on any of your kids is from last winter on the MAP test. You really don't need that right now just to help them get into NTI, help them get on their Google Classroom, get connected to their teachers. Right now, when we talk about grace and we talk about compassion, it's mostly about getting connected to their new teachers, getting connected to their school. Sometimes virtual doesn't feel real. So we just need you all to help us make the student understand that they really are back in school with NTI. And that's what we're shooting for. We're not shooting for forms to be turned into Cascade and attendance to be taken. The nice thing is we will have a Vista starting with us in our data department, and a big chunk of her time will be focusing on connecting with you all and connecting with the data, and she will be learning. So it's always nice to have a fresh set of eyes, because sometimes I've been doing this too long and I just say, oh yeah, they're goal 5 on map test, and you guys don't know what the heck Krista or I are talking about. So this Vista will have some fresh eyes, and she will help us do some training on some of our data and help get it out to you guys. And again, hopefully we're all going to do a great job and get back in person soon. I couldn't see the chat, so I'm going to stop sharing so I can see any questions.
There was a hand raised, but I can't remember who raised it.
LaShonda Hood.
LaShonda, do you still have your hand raised? Okay, I'm going to assume not. Does anyone have questions for Kyle or Krista?
I have a question. I may have missed it, and I'm sorry about that. How do I sign up for Cascade? I clicked on the link, and it had like the username and password. But how do I like sign up for a username and password? I might have missed it. I'm sorry.
You said Shawnee Boys and Girls Club. You definitely already have an account, so either Krista or I could remind you of that account, that login and password.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You may have to sign a staff confidentiality form, though, if you don't have one in the file.
Yes, you personally, yeah. That's a good point. All staff that's going to come in contact with student personal identifiable information needs to personally sign off. So I'm sure Shawnee Boys and Girls Club has been signed up for a long time, but then you personally or any staff member that you think might come in contact with confidential student information, which is anything past name is confidential student information, basically, that you personally have a form on file with Krista in her office that you've signed off to keep that confidential.
Thank you. Any other questions? And Clanisha, Krista, email or put her email address in the chat. Please go ahead and write that down. Send her an email and she will follow up with you on the information that you need.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh, so she said you should actually talk to Catherine, and so she put Catherine's in there. All right. If there are no other questions, let's go ahead. All right. If there are no other questions, it's 10:45 even. Can we take a 5-minute break?
Felicia, I have a really quick question. This is Lauren at the Backside Learning Center. I saw that the online consent form, I'm not sure exactly what it was just in English, and I know there are some capabilities where it can be set to bilingual, so that if it is sent to a phone that is set in another language, that it'll show up in another language. Do you know if that is the case? Does anybody know if that's the case for that consent form?
For the Cascade piece?
Whatever the link was shared in the chat that was for a community, I don't know what it's called, Community Learning Place 2020-21, authorization to release education records and consent form.
So Kyle or Krista, can you answer that question?
And hi, I'm Florence. I work in research as well. And I just put in the chat, Lauren, that was a great point. So I appreciate you bringing that up. So we'll change that setting.
Okay,
so,
great.
We'll work on that after this call. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Florence, for chiming in. All right, now it's 10:46. Let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break, get up and stretch, and we will reconvene at 10:51. I will see you back at 10:51. Thanks so much. All right, we are back. We are back. We are back. All right, so for the next portion of our training, I am going to hand it over to Mike Deegan, who leads our blocks data work. Mike is going to talk to you about his the things that are going to happen this fall. And so I am going to hand it over to the one and only Mike Deegan.
Sorry. All right. Thanks, Felicia. And again, thank you all for joining us today. You know, again, this is a different year for all of us. And as we mentioned, our theme for you know, the foreseeable future, at least, turning to compassion over compliance. Just to give a quick recap, you know, for Cascade, we are, you know, not going to be requiring anything until NTI ends. And, you know, future trainings and the deeper dives into the actual consent forms that we'll need you all to hand out will be forthcoming. But for right now, we don't need to worry about collecting anything for Cascade. And I'm going to share my screen now. I thought I was going to share my screen. Let's see. I might need someone else on the team to share their screen. I'm having some. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Can everyone see this, or am I?
Yep, we see it.
Okay. All right, sorry about that. So for SRYB, for those who aren't, or who are new staff this year, we're not bringing on any new sites, at least at the moment. But for those that are new who don't know what the staff rating of youth behavior is, which is what the SRYB acronym stands for, this is our social emotional learning data collection tool, and really it's a planning piece as well. It's a 14-item staff rating, so observations of the youth that you're serving around social emotional learning competencies. And basically, we collect data twice per year. So we'll have a sort of a pre-test, pre-rating in the fall, which is usually collected up right until Thanksgiving, and then again in the spring, which last year we moved up to March, and the idea was to keep that same schedule for this year. Obviously, right now, while everyone is in NTI, while we have folks in various forms of program delivering right now, some are in person, some are virtual, some are a little bit of both. Part of our compliance, compassion over compliance pivot for us is no SRIB ratings for this fall. We, you know, obviously we have the tool available for those that are returning. You have, you know, the spreadsheets from last year. You know, in a sense, there are ways in which we can think about the SRYB in a virtual setting, but in terms of collecting data, you're more than welcome to think about those items and how they might apply to your virtual settings, but we're not going to ask you all to be looking through those and making those in a virtual setting or a distance learning. You know, the SRYB isn't, when we started using it, it wasn't developed specifically for this this time period that we're in. So we're not going to be asking for you all to be collecting data in that same way. In the meantime, we are working with the Weicker Center, who develops the staff rating of youth behavior, to update the spreadsheet. There are a few things that I'm looking to improve on the spreadsheet to get data even quicker to you all. All of that is going to be forthcoming, so I don't want to get too bogged down into those details right now. And our plan, which I'll also go into a little bit later on, at the end of the calendar year, our team at Metro United Way and with our partners at LMG and JCPS as well, we'll sort of regroup and just see where the situation is. And if it's possible that we can start rolling out some of the more normal blocks related stuff in 2021, that's when, we'll have SRYB coming back, hopefully. The passive consent forms, we're going to continue that process. So for those of you who were with us last year, the passive consent form was new last year. Basically, we give you a release for, we have to send these out because there is data that's collected, and then there's evaluation and analysis that goes on just to see how the SEL competencies for the youth that we serve are connected to our program quality work. We ask some research-based kinds of questions and put out an annual data report, which is online right now, actually in this link below here. But I've also started putting stuff like this passive consent form. I have last year's version of the sort of the PDF version of the observation tool for the SRYB on this resources link as well. So I encourage you, my team here or our team here at United Way are looking to really kind of beef up our resources page, and that will sort of be an ongoing development, and we'll kind of go through some more of that as we go along. Let's see, we can go to the next slide. All right, thank you. All right, so for the spring, as I mentioned, there will be an updated live webinar. Again, all of this is just sort of contingent on where we are in the world of the pandemic. And so live webinar with our folks, our colleagues from the Weicker Center, as well as going over the updates that I mentioned, and rethinking. I know a lot of us who are familiar with the SRYB, we've been getting our data in on time. Last year, we were actually on track to get the most SRYB data that we ever have as a network. We were north of 3,200 ratings, which was great. But unfortunately, we had to cut that short. We started collecting in the spring. We started having a few external assessments in the spring, but basically everything went offline, and we kind of had to scrap all of the typical data collection. I will mention that, for this year as well, because data is not going to look the same as it typically does, all of the reporting that we're going to be doing will be a sort of, a special edition, so to speak. It's all going to be point in time. It's not going to look like the data that we've typically collected. And last year we had 5 years of data that we were really excited to roll out. That report, I should mention, is also online in that resources page. But again, this year we'll look to see, based on what we have and what's available, rolling out a special kind of report on not only the data that we're looking at right here, SRYB and quality cascade, what we can get, if anything, through through academics, but also talking a bit more about how you all have pivoted and helped address the needs in the community and the youth and the families that you serve, as well as how we here at Blocks have had to rethink the way that we've done things, and just put that all in a sort of a kind of a COVID edition of a report out on how we rose to the occasion and met the challenges that we've all been facing. So in terms of time 1 and time 2 ratings, like ideally we'd be able to get 2 ratings of SRYB in the spring, but if it's only possible to do 1, then we'll just do a point in time, maybe in March. Again, all of this is contingent on where we are. So this is very much a rough draft that I'm presenting right now. And, we will be regrouping again at the beginning of the year just to make those final decisions. Let me see if just checking the chats. So question about if you want to do SRYB on your own. Again, you have the ability to do that with the spreadsheets that you have. I am happy to work with you if you want to get in touch with me to maybe set up how you would do that internally. But as far as, we don't need any of that information. But we can definitely support you in doing that, and maybe thinking about ways in which you might modify the tool to use for your own programs. Again, if you have grant reporting or any kind of funders or stakeholder reporting that you're looking to get social emotional learning data for. Again, the passive consent form would definitely need to be a part of that piece, but our contact information is going to be, here. Many of you already have it. Feel free to reach out to me. We'll have this and other sorts of resources available, and we'll constantly be updating our resources page on the website. We're really trying to start beefing that up more. We're working with our marketing departments to talk about ways in which we can start to have a resources page that's more robust, and especially during these times, all of these tools that our team has been looking into to address the virtual and distance learning, which my colleague TJ will be getting into just after this piece. All of those things will be on that resources page as well. So I encourage you, if you have any questions about what's possible, or if you're looking to implement SRYB, again, on your own internally, I'm more than happy to work with you and help you set that up, so that if you are, again, answering to a stakeholder or a funder grant report, we can find ways. And just just a side note, we've also had discussions with partners and foundations and funders, and all of them are cognizant about what's going on. Many of them are granting leniency or asking just for alternative proposals given the nature of what's going on. So I think you'll find a lot of them are going to offer that grace, and we have some other tools that we're going to just be talking about right now, actually. So if we could go ahead, sorry about the technical difficulties. I was going to go ahead and click through for TJ, but TJ, would you like to talk about the program quality piece?
I most certainly would. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, thank you.
First of all, I just want to recognize and thank our wonderful JCPS team. That was great info in you know, them being a part of blocks and this conversation this morning has been tremendously helpful. So thank you, Catherine, Krista, Kyle, and Florence. You guys are wonderful partners. And Crystal, you're a great new addition, so thank you. I really think that speaks to, you know, JCPS's belief that all of you are making a positive difference in students' lives. And, you know, and I do want to thank each of you, because, you know, this pivot has not been easy. We need all hands on deck to help all of our JCPS students successfully navigate these, you know, these times of, you know, that are unprecedented. And it's tremendously important, especially for our young people who struggle in school during normal times. Your all's help is making a tremendous, and will make a tremendous difference. Your pivot to helping families, your pivot to helping kids with their academic enrichment is absolutely amazing. So thank you all. I'm sure you were reading, you know, and I also want to thank all of you all for filling out the surveys. We try very hard to reach out to all you all. Sometimes the easiest way is to create a very short survey monkey, and your all's response to those surveys have been tremendous. We really appreciate that. That helps us to pivot ourselves on how we can best help you all when we know what you all are thinking and planning, and those surveys are tremendously important as a part of that. And you know, because of our discussions with you all, because of the surveys that you filled out, we really felt that the best thing that we could do for you all during this pandemic time was to really shift from, you know, our requirements and our data collection into how we can support you during these times, right? So, you know, for the YPQI, for the continuous quality improvement, there's a lot of things that you will not need to worry about this fall. And the first one is, we will not do any external assessments this fall. We will not ask you all to log into Scores Reporter and enter self-assessments this fall. And because of those two things, we will not ask you all to create 3 goals in Scores Reporter that equal your program improvement plan. We will regroup in January and have another big meeting, and I look forward to being in the CMR. I'm knocking on wood, in person, but if not, it'll be on Zoom again. But we do hope in the spring, March and April, to be that everybody's back together, everybody's doing in-person programming, and we will try to do external assessments in the spring, in March and April. We want you all to focus on your children that you work with and your families. We do not want you to worry about having to, you know, to fulfill the requirements and data collection for the YPQI this fall. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Yay! All right. Because of the pandemic, there's some things that I hope you guys will miss. We will not be able to have any of our methods workshops. Our intention was to implement the brand new cell methods this fall, and continue with our youth work methods that many of you all are familiar with. But we will not be having any of those until at least after December 31st, 2020. Because we're not doing self-assessments or external assessments, there will be no mandatory YPQI trainings that we typically have. I know everyone will miss Monica Marie Jones, who comes down and does these, and we certainly will miss her too. But there will be no all-day PQA basics workshop. There will be no all-day planning with data workshop. There will be no quality instructional coaching workshops. We will hopefully be able to reevaluate in-person trainings in for 2021, and we hope to be able to start offering those methods that we've been doing for the past 6 years, and the brand new cell methods, which are awesome from what I hear. But I just want you to know that Felicia and Gabrielle will be working together, and Felicia plans plenty of other training offerings online for you all. We hope that you all will be able to take advantage of that, and the pivot to support and creating networking opportunities that Felicia will talk about in a minute. Next slide, Felicia. I just want you to know that one of the things we've been doing is scouring the earth for great resources for you. One of them is something we found from the former executive director and founder of the Weichert Center. He's got his own nonprofit now, and it's called A Guide to Distance Learning Assessment. So it is basically a self-assessment, not too dissimilar from the PQA. This is going to be a resource that we have for you all, that you all can choose to use or not use. It is brand new. It was developed in conjunction with the State of Michigan 21st Century Community Learning Centers. We've had a pre-publication copy of it, and it looks really great. It focuses on 4 things: parental involvement and engagement, the creating learning environments for young people while they are in distance learning, and distance learning in itself, and prepping for in-person supports. We also plan to have Dr. Charles Smith, the creator of this document, do a workshop for you all to run through this assessment tool and how to use it, which is scheduled for September 17th. Next slide, please. All right, other things we've done is through our connection with our research partner, the Weichert Center, where they shared tools with us that other networks across the country were using, and we use those tools to adapt them to one-pagers. There's 2 of those, and they are on our website. The first is a virtual learning quality checklist. It's a one-page checklist where we pulled the relevant pieces of the PQA in a quick kind of checklist that you can use for your in-person and or online activities. And then, I tried to kind of pull from that to make something really easy. If you are developing virtual workshops, virtual activities with your kids, there is a one-page quality virtual learning activity checklist that really gives you, the really important things from the PQA that you can use in every activity that you create. And those both are online for you all on our webpage. The other thing that, and Felicia, do I have another slide, or is that my last slide? Any questions about our compassion over compliance effort to support you all in program quality? If there are no questions, we will use this time to move on. I just want to say to you all one thing. We are all available to you to help you in any way, any questions, connect you to resources. If you have any questions about anything we have done today, please call, text, and email any of your wonderful BLOCS teams. Thank you.
All right, had to try and unmute myself. All right, we have some changes. So this next section, I appreciate Mike. Thank you for talking about SRYB, and you're off the hook this fall for SRYB. Thank you, TJ, for talking about the quality piece. You're off the hook this fall for self-assessments, external assessments, and then program improvement plans. So thank you for that part. We are moving on to the supports that we are going to be offering going forward. So, all right, this pandemic has put all of us in a new space, a new place, a new world. We have traditionally been offering some coaching supports through our manager of coaching. As we move forward, that role is now vacant, and a new person is actually en route and on the way. That new person, do not think of them as the same as Matt was a wonderful coach, and he did marvelous things while he was here. He has moved on. This new person is going to have a different, so when you see them, don't, just think it's the same role, same place, same space. It is not. This new support system is going to be more encompassing. And what I mean by that is you have the ability to reach out to any of us for technical assistance. You can reach out to me, you can reach out to TJ, you can reach out to Mike, and you'll be able to reach out to the new person. You actually have more support than you had previously or thought you had previously. We were all available. I think everybody kind of waited on their coach, and you don't have to do that anymore. You can reach out to any of us at any point in time, including after this call today, for any kind of technical support. We are available via Zoom. If you want some onboarding for your new staff, if you want some training, if you want to just go back over some things that you've made want clarity on, whatever you need, even though we're not physically in a building, you have access to us by telephone and by Zoom until further notice. TJ is just waiting to get back in the building. And so for the introverts in us, I love Zoom. I'm just going to be transparent. So anywho, any kind of what I'm going to call support calls right now are going to be via Zoom. New person on the way, we're with through Zoom. Reach out to any of us. You will see our contact information directly following this. All right, so that's out the way. Next, for several years, we had the Everyone Reads, and everybody came to Everyone Reads, and we loved it. And that kind of morphed into the BLOCS professional learning communities. And we were very intent on making sure that you were supported with the tools, you were supported to do program improvement plans, you were supported to do all of those kinds of things to be successful in BLOCS. Now we are morphing this year into what we're calling communities of practice. And what that is, a community of practice is three components, basically. Our domain, what is our shared interest and key issues? We're out of school time providers who want to do the best for our kids, and we want to provide this quality programming. The community piece is building relationships, having discussion, networking, as well as learning while we're doing all of those other fun pieces. And increasing our body of knowledge. We want to share stories. We want to share tools, resources, so that everyone has the same access to all sorts of resources. I was talking to I'm going to put your name out there. I was talking to Kishana last week by telephone, and she was telling me stuff. I was like, I need you to to tell the world, right? I know you don't want to get emails every single day from me. So that's the reason I'm inviting you, everybody you work with, everybody you know. It's no longer just for Blocks. We want the world, anybody who works with youth, that's sororities and fraternities, their youth affiliates, that's churches and their choirs and youth programs, that's out of school time. If you work with youth in any capacity, the communities of practice is the place that we are going to use to increase our body of knowledge, to network and build relationships, to get resources to help hopefully make our job easier. Our jobs are hard enough as it is, but with support and community and all of those kind of things, I really believe that we are going to be able to weather this pandemic storm, weather what's going on in the community, so on and so forth. Our communities of practice is going to be the second Thursday of each month. Because September is going to be a heavy month for what I'm going to talk about training wise, our communities of practice will start the second Thursday in October. That date is October 8th. You will receive a notification about the October 8th communities of practice. It's going to be from 10 until 11:30 via Zoom. It's open to everyone who works with youth. Tell everybody you know who works with youth. There's going to be 4 components to each of these communities of practice. We're going to have a practitioner spotlight. That means one of you guys are going to be sharing some what you're doing, how you're doing it, that sort of thing. It's going to be, I'm going to call them TED Talk type presentations. There's going to be a topic spotlight. So each month there's going to be a topic. Maybe it's NTI, maybe it's each month there's going to be a topic. We are going to share resources and we are going to network. So the topic spotlight for the month of October, Crystal Hawkins, yay, from JCPS Family Engagement is our first communities of practice topic spotlight. She is going to come back. Everyone is a lot of you are just now meeting Crystal and hearing what she does and what she offers. Crystal has agreed to come back as our first communities of practice topic spotlight, and the spotlight is going to be on building this community between JCPS and out of school time and some other things that she's going to talk about to make your life easier. Please come every month with resources that you want to share. Come with an open mind, knowing that we're going to network and we're going to break out room and we're going to talk to one another, and it's going to be interactive. We are not going to sit there and listen to one person for an hour and a half. It's going to be moving and shaking. You know it's going to be an action-packed hour and a half. All right, communities of practice. What's next? Professional development. All right, so we have let you all off the hook in a lot of ways this fall. And what I mean by that, we wanted to make absolutely sure that you were able, a lot of you are at home with your own kiddos during NTI 2.0. You're also working with other folks and kiddos. Some of you all are opening during the day, which you haven't traditionally done. So because there is going to be so many requirements and stretch for you, we wanted to make that piece easier. We wanted to take some of the lift off of you. With that being said, this is a great time to increase your professional development opportunities. So this fall, we are introducing and national offerings. So what does that mean to you? Where's my slide? Okay, I'm going to go to this one and I'm going to come back. These are the trainings that have been offered since June. In the last 3 months, June, July, and August, we have offered these trainings to you. The trainings, so many of these have been what I'm going to call local trainings. They've been provided by one of us or somebody local, or we've brought in the health department, those sorts of things. We also introduced to you and sent out to you June 29th, where we offered the training for Minnesota. It was live on Zoom, so that's what I'm calling regional. Now you have the ability to catch conversations and trainings from other regional affiliates. National. So we are going to, on August 25th, there is going to be a, and I sent it out to you, a national conversation, and it's youth work in the time of COVID, how to rethink your program design. So that is there's going to be folks on that call nationally. So don't think of our professional development now as just us. Think of it in its totality. We are offering you way more opportunities than we ever have. And later on this fall, we're hoping to bring you another. BLOCS is going to offer you a national training. So past and present, you have had access to all of these trainings. You are going to have access to much more. So my ask to you is to now, how can you encourage yourself and your staff to take advantage, because all of these builds quality. Thinking about how to redesign or to rethink your program design, especially if you've normally been in person and now you're going to be virtual and vice versa. We are offering you opportunities to improve yourself personally as well as professionally. Most of the trainings are free. The one about rethinking your program design, there is a nominal $10 cost that your program can cover. So now I will go back to this one. So Gabrielle, I want to introduce Gabrielle Benfield from the Office of Youth Development. I want to make sure that everybody knows who Gabrielle is. Gabrielle, can you say hello? And can you, if what TJ mentioned earlier, if you have any changes or additions, can you just pop on real quick and say anything you'd like from the Office of Youth Development?
Yeah, I am Gabrielle Benfield. I work with the Office of Youth Development. I do not have any updates at this time. TJ pretty much covered it. Because of COVID, we're not really allowed to do anything in person. So, but I am working on some stuff. I just don't have anything locked down as of yet. So as soon as I get that, every one of you that are on that listserv will get a notification of that. If you're not on our listserv, please chat me or email me. I think there's going to be a slide with all of our emails at the end. And I will get you on that listserv. So any questions, feel free to just contact me at any time.
Thank you, Gabrielle. Thank you, Gabrielle. In the chat, is there any resources on how communities in the state or nation are using virtual technology to make it engaging? Could we connect with national organizations? What we in the next section that we are going to cover, we're going to talk about like our newsletter, which is going to California, San Francisco. We have access to all of these different networks because we have joined Every Hour Counts, and we are going to pushing out these type of resources to you, and it will be discussed in the very next section. So with that being said, so Office of Youth Development, we've talked about communities of practice. We are having a new series. I'm calling these trainings What You Should Know trainings. One of the trainings that are being offered coming up very soon, you will get a notification, is called mandatory reporting. Kentucky is a mandatory reporting state. But it's very important for us to know what it is, but it's not. And so we have some folks who are coming to discuss what mandatory reporting actually is and what it's not. You're going to get data, you're going to have discussion. Our trainings are going to be very interactive. And when you walk away from that training, you should know something different than when you walked into it. So I have a theme for everything. That's just kind of like my personality. So think of these new sets of trainings that will be August through December as you should know training. All right, so you have already received 2 invitations for a regional and national training. You will start getting some more. I'm going to be transparent. If you don't have time, I understand. Just read it and be like, oh, my calendar doesn't support it. But if you are able to attend these trainings, if you're able to attend the Blocks What You Should Know trainings, I'm asking you to commit to these trainings. And I'm also, the Blocks trainings, we are going to record. So if you have kids in the building while it's going on, try and commit to watching those trainings later on if you can. We've put a lot of time and a lot of effort into making sure that we provide you with other educational opportunities. I need more coffee. And so, you know, help me help you. And with that, if you don't mind, after each of those trainings that I showed you, I sent out a survey saying, how did you like it? Is there any other training topics that you want, that you feel you need, that you should know? Folks have given me some great ideas, but I'm asking you, because now there are 75 folks on the call, in the chat, would you put down, would you think about, would you enter the trainings, the things that you feel like you should know, the things that would be helpful? We did an in-person guidelines training in June. For the summer, is it helpful for us to do another one up to NTI 2.0? Do we need to bring some more folks back and talk about it now? Folks who weren't open in this summer, they didn't log on because they weren't open in this summer. Now that more people are thinking about opening up, whether it's 2 hours a week or however you're opening, whatever you think that you should know or want to know, please add it to the chat. And we will absolutely start talking about what we can offer and how we could make it happen, and whether it's part of a communities of practice, practitioner topic, whether it's a topic, whether it's a resource we share, whether it's a training. We are going to work holistically to make this happen for you. All right, I have, excellent, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, the youth development certificate is one of the questions. I will say this, we have conversations, we have been in talks, we were trying to move from one organization to another. In the world of COVID, our conversations have come to a complete halt. I'm just going to be transparent. There are higher education institutions who are trying to keep their doors open. And so I do not have a, and I talked to Gabrielle, so I'm going to give the update for both of us. We do not have an update at this moment. We've reached out prior to this call just to say, hey, is there anything that we can report at this point? And there is not. Higher ed is working to keep their doors open. They're working to keep the kids that are on their campuses safe. They are, they just are. All All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please continue to add things into the chat. I am going to capture these, but in the meanwhile, I'm going to hand over to who's going to talk about additional supports. Mike.
All right, thanks, Felicia. And can you continue to drive for me?
Yeah,
all right, thank you.
absolutely.
All right, well, this is actually our final piece for today, last section. So again, thank you all for hanging in there with us. We had a lot of information. I'll just repeat that you all will be getting a copy of this presentation with all the live links, all of the info that we've been laying out as a reference tomorrow. Going back to, TJ mentioned that, the surveys that we distribute and the questions that we ask, all of that is helping us inform, what we do to change how we help better serve you and support you, especially in a time like this. You may have seen our fall support survey that went out earlier this month. And, we understand that we ask similar questions, but in the past few months, it seems like every 2 weeks, some new development happens or plans change, or if things open up, or then they have to revert back to an earlier phase of opening. So as much as possible, we wanted to kind of have a finger on the pulse of how you all were thinking about this fall, and what it was that we really needed to lean in on. And so that was the purpose of a fall survey that we put out for this month in preparation for the fall. Really informs a lot of what we then as a team sought to move forward with. And just a quick overview, basically we had about a third of you who responded saying that you were going in person, about another third saying that there was a little bit of both going on, and then about 25% just completely virtual, completely distance learning or programming. And so, all of these things are informing how we are then thinking about, all right, what are the requirements that we typically, have asked and will need to be modified, changed, or nixed altogether. With the community learning hubs, how do we then sort of pivot to help facilitate and coordinate, many of you all that responded, some of you are participating in community learning hubs. So, thinking about how we support in that regard as well. Next slide, Felicia. Thank you. So, one of the questions again was ranking your top needs. This again helps us, we can sit around and, at Metro United Way on Zoom calls and think about what you all might need or what you all might be thinking about as the most important supports. But really, this is straight from you all. The top 5 that we're seeing were funding due to concerns about keeping doors open, need for volunteers and tutors, technology, which includes internet access, devices, NTI training. So we're really leaning into trying to help out and facilitate those sorts of trainings and supports. And then masks, gloves, PPE, cleaning supplies, etc., for the reopening. All of these things, again, we can control a lot of what we do with how we can maybe address that. But now in terms of how we advocate and outreach for you all on your behalf with, the Metro United Way partners, and we can now see and take this kind of information to other areas, even within our network, those that are doing other sorts of outreach or development, but and then thinking of ways in which we can also maybe fine-tune our our sights on what our community needs. So, these surveys really help us just kind of refocus on what the urgent needs are for today. And then, just even to tie it back, yeah, that's good. That's okay. We can tie it back to, United Community. If you are thinking about joining that platform, that's just one more data point that we can have that shows how we are meeting needs and what gaps there still are. So to continue on with that, with our additional supports, we've mentioned a little bit about how we're beefing up our website. So continue to look, use that website. We want to start directing you all more to that for things like resources and information. Definitely not only our blocks, but our Metro United Way website as well is a really great place for updates and things that are going on, especially nowadays. We have some sort of like standalone websites and landing pages that address sort of COVID response, etc. The training and professional development opportunities that we've been going over, updates on those, recordings, information that we shared during those, we're all going to be putting on a more robust resources page. An events calendar, we're going to start putting some more pertinent information for you all, and then for the OST world in general onto those websites. And then as we sort of mentioned earlier too, so exploring new communication channels. So our team, you may have remembered if you were with us last year, we had some sort of feelers out for if there was an appetite for a newsletter, which, there was an overwhelming majority of you were interested in something like that. So now we're kind of seeing how, especially in this climate, what all we could be putting in something like a newsletter. The idea right now is a quarterly, but certainly while we're in these sort of uncertain times, we can maybe have special, weekly, bi-weekly sort of editions as, again, information and news is coming out, every day, every minute. So as much as possible, keeping folks attuned to what's happening and how they can best serve and safely serve the youth in our community. We're also looking into, the reason we don't have too much more to share on this right now is we're still working with our internal marketing department on how best to align all these communication strategies, along with, leveraging a lot of the communications that are coming out of Metro United Way. And then we also recognize that we send out communications to you also. We're working on that strategy to best, maximize these things. But, I think there's appetite for, even within blocks, a closed group where folks can talk to each other about sharing best practices, sharing activities. How are you coping with, what are some online virtual activities that you're using that are working? Just little intranet typey groups that we could facilitate. But then also, I know many of you are already following maybe some Metro United Way handles, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, etc. Are there ways in which we can start pushing out some blocks related material? We're exploring some options to keep you better informed in real time as much as possible. So next slide, please. All right, and so finally some next steps here. TJ mentioned the guidance for after school learning at a distance document. When we get that final version, that's going to be up on our website. Just as a reminder, there's our September 17th live training with the creator of that document, Dr. Charles Smith. So, through the calendar year, everything that we've laid out, we're here to support you to get through and help out as much as we can, so that you can continue to just stay in contact and serve youth however it is you're delivering programming. In the meantime, our team is going to be just monitoring the situation, working on getting those resources for you. And then we will be communicating out to you all a sort of a mid-year regroup. You know, it might be kickoff part 2, but essentially we'll see where we are at the beginning of the year. So we anticipate kind of January 2021. You know, are we able to move forward with our plan to get, you know, 1 external assessment in the spring? How many, if any, SRYBs are we able to get? What's the landscape for Cascade looking like? You know, again, just to remind everyone, you know, as long as NTI is going on, you know, Cascade's sort of offline, you know, when that starts to get back going, which may be before this, you know, we will again be communicating trainings, going over the release forms in more depth, going through navigating the system in more depth. We didn't want to, you know, put that out there too early, and then, you know, just have it just sitting until we're able to use it. So again, stay tuned for all this info. At future dates and times for all of this to roll out. Go ahead to the next slide, which I think is, so final thoughts or questions, and we can actually go to the next slide too, because that'll be the slide with all of our contact information. We can just have that up. Right now, again, you'll get this slide so you could easily just click on these links too, but if you want to jot info down right now, please feel free. But while this is up, if there are any final thoughts or questions for our team, please feel free to unmute yourselves and ask, or put in the chat and we can address as they come in. And so yeah, and I'll open that up to the team as well if they have any final thoughts or closing words.
Thank you, Mike. Before we officially close for the day, I'll let everybody jump in who wants to, but I wanted to show you just one quick thing that I think is really cool, because we just now added it on the Metro United Way page. This is maybe 2 weeks old at this point. We have a family engagement resources. All right. Okay, so when you click on view resources, and we are actually building this out, we are working with JCPS, we are partnering with JCPS on this. It says family engagement resources, but it's also good for you in the community. JCPS information is located here. So if you are like, I can't figure out or find that link, or I can't find that email, you can come to the metrounitedway.org page under family engagement. Everything, the website, the toolkit, JCPS buildings are closed. There's translated information, how to update contact information for families, because we are having a big push right now for that. Each week, there will be more things added to this website. And so don't feel like if you didn't catch it today, there's not another place to get it. We are going to try our best and update this family engagement, because you all are part of the family for these students at JCPS. You are extended family. The children, their students trust you. You are part of their support system. And because of that, we want to make absolutely sure that you have all of the information that you need. All right, so that was my last bit. Does anyone else have questions? Is there any comments? I want to make sure that you're adding what you need in the chat so that we can follow up with you. All right, everybody's ready to roll, huh? Well, with that being said, I really appreciate you all coming on and signing on this morning and being a part of this. I appreciate you being a part of the work. I appreciate you being a part of Blocks. I appreciate you being a part of the extended family for the children that we serve. We all want the very best for them. And, you know, these kind of kickoff calls are what starts off our year. So with that being said, we appreciate the love that's in the chat. We appreciate each and every one of you. You will receive an email from me tomorrow, most likely tomorrow morning. It will have a copy of the slide deck. It will have the links. Whatever we think the United Community information, it's probably going to be a lengthy email, so I will tell you that in advance, but it's one that you will want to save, bookmark, flag, however you need to keep up with it. All right. Is there anything else that we need for the good of the cause? Angie is on. I would love for Angie to take us out of here, if you would.
Hi, everyone. It's great to see all your faces. I've been following along. I've had my video turned off, but I've been telling the team that I actually think that this year is a real opportunity to do some things that we've talked about for a while, but we've been just going so fast and furious. We haven't had a chance to kind of slow down and try them out. So this is the year that we're doing it. And I'm really excited about everything that the team is planning around training and professional development. It's so good to see all your faces. Thank you all for everything that you're doing with the young people. They need it. And as a parent of 3 kids, I've been using some of your programs and resources myself. And I'm just really happy to see you all here and engaged and committed to keeping our young people on track and serving them during this difficult time. So congratulations to all of you for making it this far. We're in it together, and I hope you all have a great day, a great rest of the week, and a wonderful school year. And we continue to keep working together. Onward and upward.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. TJ said, way to put your boss on the spot. So I appreciate Angie and her ability to pivot, much like all of you. We have to be ready. We have to stay ready during this time. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you all. Call us if you need us anytime. We're here for you. Thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.